Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, wherever. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's always nice to have these interregional meetings because it's good to reconnect with friends. It's unfortunate that we cannot meet face to face, but under the circumstances, I suppose this will do. Craig, next slide, please. So I'll just give you a brief overview of each one. You know who WaterLinks is. Unlike AFWA, we are not a membership-based organization. We are based in Manila, and we are organized as a nonprofit entity in the Republic of the Philippines. We have three WOPs that are ongoing, care of GWOPA, and the first one is between the WACO and Manila Water. The diagnostic visit as well as the Menti visit were both done before the COVID travel restrictions, thankfully. And there were 9, in fact, participants from Da Nang, Vietnam, who participated at the Menti visit in Manila. And interestingly, a neighboring water utility joined. A neighboring utility joined this visit. BWACO also participated with 4 staff. You will see that there are quite a number of people who joined the Menti visit to Manila Water. And this is interesting because while the program paid for, I think, 5 people for the WACO, they paid extra to send more staff here because they were really committed to the program. Their neighboring utility, BWACO, was also very much interested, and so they paid their way and have also signified interest in future to participate in a WOP if possible. This particular WOP I'm very proud to say, a very good performer. In fact, it is amongst the 3, it is the most advanced. All of their activities are on track to be completed despite and in spite travel restrictions. I will not go through each of the activities that have been identified because they will discuss this themselves. But just to let you know that there are 4 working areas for this WOP. You see 2 of them on screen right now: customer service and NRW reduction. And you see as well the different meetings that we have had online. And you will see as well all the actions that have been completed. And specific to customer service, in fact, they will complete everything by December 2020. Next slide, please. There are the other 2 working areas are asset management and human resources development. And once again, all of them are on track to meet all of the activities and objectives of the WOP. I must give credit to both partners, Manila Water as well as Da Nang, especially Da Nang, because what they have done here is they split into groups, and this is what I think is really needed for all WOPs working online. Each team is different, working on a specific working area. So the asset management group, they're different from the people working in human resources. They're different from people working in customer service, and also different from people working in non-revenue water. As a result, each group has a dedicated team dealing with this, both from the mentor side as well as the mentee side. And this allows a more robust discussion amongst mentor and mentee, and also allows for a better exchange of information and no fatigue, shall we say, no fatigue between partners, because not the same people are meeting every time. They really went out of their way to split the teams into these 4 different working areas. Next slide, please. Second WOP is on between Pidam Kota Surabaya of Indonesia and Khulna Wasa of Bangladesh. This as well is a pretty good WOP. It's doing quite a number of things. Of course, there are less working areas here. We've only identified 2. customer accounts management and non-revenue water management, because both, this is the first time, by the way, that Pidam Kota Surabaya of Indonesia is mentoring outside of Indonesia. So this is also a very an interesting development where this WOP partner or mentor has graduated from a local mentor to become an international mentor. There's a second layer of difficulty in both the WAP here in Pidam, Kota Surabaya, and Kulna, as well as the previous one, Dawako and Manila Water, because of language. You know, in Asia, we don't share a common language across the 10 countries. So this is really a unique thing across Southeast Asia, as well as not South Asia, but Southeast Asia. This is the issue. But interestingly, despite and in spite, we work a lot with interpreters and also quite a number of English-speaking staff on both sides. So this helps a lot. There have been some difficulties, I must say, in this particular WAP because the lockdown in Bangladesh in the beginning was very strict. And I'll leave the mentee to discuss that. But they, unlike Manila, the operations in both Manila and Vietnam continued despite the travel restrictions because services for water supply and sanitation are essential services. But I understand in the case of Bangladesh, it was more strict that not all staff were allowed to come to the office. So that hampered a lot of the activities in terms of field work. But once again, I give credit to both partners and in particular to MD Abdullah of Kulnawasa, who is present with us today, because he has really driven the process. He is involved in all the meetings. He sits with us at every discussion. And therefore, there is a lot of commitment and a lot of support for his staff for all the activities that have been identified. So again, I leave them to discuss the achievements, but you will note that quite a number of meetings have been done. A lot of online training have also been completed. This is, by the way, despite the fact that the mentee visit for this particular WAP did not proceed because we were caught by COVID travel restrictions. So fortunately, Kulna was not able to participate in a visit to Pidam Kota Surabaya. So we have moved online. Everything is online. Next slide, please. So the last WOP is Chittagong of Bangladesh as well and Suez, India. Both mentor visit as well as mentee visit were completed before COVID, thankfully. There were 6 persons who participated from the Chittagong side to go to the operations of Suez in New Delhi and Kolkata, showcasing different aspects of the working areas that have been identified. I must say this particular WOP has been quite challenging. I'm glad that Rana is here. This particular WOP also, I mentioned, had a lot of difficulties because of COVID restrictions, but also from the standpoint of their own leadership. Their MD was also in hospital for COVID for quite some time, so that also was a very added challenge for the utility. There is also we have identified 5 different areas here. There's also quite a lot of challenges with respect to connectivity, and they will discuss this. So it's a little bit challenging, this particular WOP. We have asked them at our previous meeting in September to try to prioritize, if not reduce, the number of working areas that we are looking at. There are 5, given the difficulties in going to the field, all these things. So we are continuing to have this discussion with them. I don't know if we wish to discuss other things that WaterLinks is doing, maybe not, because this is just limited to this particular activity. So I will leave it at that, and I end my presentation here. Thank you.